Good morning. Today we are going to be learning how to solve two-step equations. Remember, when we are solving equations, we are always isolating the variables. So we want variables on one side of the equation. It doesn't matter which side. And we want everything else on the other side. Okay, and we cannot leave a variable negative. We do this, we isolate the variable by undoing addition and subtraction first, using inverse operations. Okay, then we undo multiplication or division with their inverse operation, and then we check our solution. Your work for me is always going to be asking you to check, to confirm your solutions. So make sure you are always checking, solving, and then substituting it back in. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you guys a model. So there are actually two different models. So we're going to use this models to kind of show us how we would use the models to solve equations. Okay, so first of all, we're wanting to isolate the variable. We want one variable on one side of the equal side and everything else on the other. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is write this as an equation. Okay, so we have our two x's here. Okay, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ones, or plus 4, and this is equal to 1, 2, 3 ones, or just 3. Okay, so now we start with adding and subtracting. We want to undo that first, okay, which means if I want to get these 4 and put them on my other side, I'm going to subtract, okay. So if I'm subtracting 4 from this side, I'm also having to subtract 4 from this side, okay. Remember, the line through the equal sign helps us keep organized when we're solving. All right, so if I'm adding 4, taking 4 away, I'm left with 0, or just 2x. Okay, now I only have 3 over here. Okay, so since I only have 3 and I'm taking 4 away, that means I'm going to be left with 1 negative. Okay, so these are going and we're left with just 1 negative. All right, so I've got 2x equals negative 1. Okay, I want to find out how much is just 1x, so I'm going to have to take and divide both sides by 2. Okay, which leaves me x on this side and negative 1/2 on the other side. Okay, and I can show that model because I'm going to take these away and then 1 more, which leaves me with 1 negative. And I have 2 x's that is equaling 1 negative. So to split that in half would mean I'm also splitting this in half, which is going to leave me with 2 negative 1/2. Okay, so let's look at the next model. Again, we're going to identify all of the parts. So I've got 3 x's this time. Okay, I'm adding 1, 2 to that. And it is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so again, we want to isolate the variable, starting with addition and subtraction. Okay, so I'm going to start here. I've got this plus 2, so I want to get rid of that, so I'm going to subtract it. When I subtract it, it goes away from here. I also want to subtract 2 because we have to keep it balanced, so when I subtract 2 over on this side. Okay, that leaves me with just my 3 x's, and you guys can count if you want, or I'm left with just 6. Okay, so my next step is to find out how many x's, or I want to find out how many 1s for each x. So I want to divide by 3, okay, which is going to leave me with x, and then 6 divided by 3 is 2, and I can look at that. Okay, I'm splitting it into the 3 x's, so I've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I have 3 groups of 2. Okay. All right. Let's look at solving this without the models. Okay. So our first example, 10 plus 3k equals 22. We're going to do this the same way. I'm going to draw my line, starting with addition and subtraction. So here, 10 is being added, since it's at the beginning of the expression, so I've got to subtract it. I'm going to subtract it from both sides. This leaves me with 3k, and then 22 minus 10 is 12, so 3k equals 12. Okay, now I have to multiply or divide. So I'm going to divide by 3. That leaves me with k, and then 12 divided by 3 is 4. Let's check our answer. I'm just going to substitute back into my original equation. So I've got 10 plus 3 times my 4 is equal to 22. So let's see if that's what we get. Okay, we start with multiply, divide, according to order of operations. So I get 12 plus 10. Does that equal 22? 12 plus 10 does equal 22. So yes, this one's right. Alrighty, let's look at our next one. We've got 19 equals 4p minus 5. Okay, go ahead and draw my line. Okay, so we always start solving equations kind of like doing pin dots backwards. We want to undo the addition and subtraction first. Okay, so I've got minus 5, so I'm going to add 5. I'm going to add 5 to my other side. That leaves me with 4p. And then 19 plus 5 is 24. Okay, my next step is to multiply or divide. And then divide by 4, which leaves me with just p. And then divide by 4. So p is equal to 6. And then we're going to substitute in. 19 equals 4 times 6 minus 5. Okay, order of operations says we multiply first. So 4 times 6 is 24. Okay, 24 minus 5 does indeed equal 19. So that one is also correct. All right, one more example. I'm going to draw my line. Okay, r divided by 2 minus 8 equals 16. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Okay, I'm left with r divided by 2 equals 16 plus 8, which is 24. Okay, now I've got to undo my division here by multiplying. Okay, multiply by 2, I've got r equals 24 times 2, which is 48. Okay, I'm going to substitute back in and check our answer. So 48 divided by 2 minus 8. Okay, 48 divided by 2 is 24. Minus 8 does indeed equal 16. Okay, you guys go ahead and work on your homework. I think there's only like 5 or 6 questions for today since you guys are taking the quiz first. If you have any questions, just email me or Zoom at 2:15. Okay, see you later.